good morning or good afternoon or good evening, whenever it is that our engagement comes to you. It's not lost on me that a lot of my friends and my family, especially in Florida, are are in the middle and the thick of a crisis. So I want to share my sincerest well wishes and prayers for peace and health and safety to those who are hopefully recovering right now and starting that process through through Hurricane Ian. And gosh, in a world where we're so easily connected now through social media and just the connectedness of everyone being at your fingertips, it is evident, and it's just sometimes a little disheartening to see how many of us are going through the next crisis, right? The next crisis, because there's always a crisis. Our existence doesn't come without struggle. It doesn't come without, opposition. It doesn't come without difficulties. And for me, you know, I see and I feel so much of what people around me are going through, and there's almost always a crisis. And so if it's not a hurricane, if it's not a storm, or if it's not a tornado, for my Oklahoma families, then it's a divorce. It's the loss of a loved one. It is, the loss of a job, or maybe a transition that is a lot more difficult than we might have seen it. And I want to take a few minutes to support you and to share with you um, three things that I think will really help you to thrive through that crisis, because we can we can often survive the crisis. We can survive, right? That is not the most human thing ever. It is that we can survive. But how do we move to that space of thriving and actually coming out stronger, more focused and more able to live and give? So I want to take just a few minutes and share with you guys three tips for how to thrive through a crisis. And first, I want you to understand that sometimes there is beauty in the crisis. The Chinese symbol, for crisis actually means both danger and opportunity. So when in that culture, when you see that symbol, which is akin to the word crisis, it doesn't just mean trouble or difficulty or disaster. It means opportunity. And there's such a powerful beauty in understanding and honoring that first in this space. You will see that so many people who maybe have become millionaires or billionaires have talked about how their their come up came specifically from moments of crisis, when our economy was down, or when the housing market burst, uh, even COVID. So understanding that there is opportunity in the crisis for you to not only survive but to thrive is first. And I want you to keep that in mind. So when we talk about it, the three things and my three tips for how to survive and specifically thrive through a crisis is to, one, learn how to tap in, two, to keep the big picture in mind, and three, to keep going, like commit to keep going. And so when we talk about that first thing, tapping in, it leans on the reality that I just spoke of. There's a lesson in this that you can grow from. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that, the realities of crisis is for you to learn something, because you deserve to go through this. But understand that there are so many things you can learn about yourself and about your circle and about your circumstances right? That you can really gain and grow through. So it's important to tap into that moment. We often want to turn our eyes away from our struggles, and we want to turn away from the things that make us feel uncomfortable. And crises are moments that that are there and we can't ignore it. So tap into those moments and ask yourself, what can I learn from this? What can I gain from this so that I can move better, stronger, more, building the resilience that is, that is the central superpower of those who have found peace and health and happiness in life. So tap into those moments. You know, when we are dealing with the loss of a loved one, like many of us are in this very moment. I can say personally that um, I and my circle of friends and fraternity brothers and sorority sisters, we've lost a giant in our world. A man who for 20 years has been a pillar in my own life and experience, who has always uplifted me and has always, spoken life into me and everything that we do. Having lost him just in the past couple of days is a crisis. And no, I'm not saying that we should always just try to find a silver lining, but what are the lessons that we're learning from that? What are the lessons from his life are we taking and honoring in ourselves? Tap into the moment and the feelings and the thoughts that are showing up for you because they're there for a reason, for you to grow and to gain. And so honor those thoughts and those lessons in those moments. Tap into yourself. Don't try to avoid the feelings. Don't try to disregard the reality of what it looks like. Okay. So the second thing that I want to talk about is really being able to keep your eyes on the big picture. When we are tapped in, it can be hard to see a future out of it. It can be hard for us to really be able to understand who and what is there for us to get through it. I want you to understand that the big picture means really understanding that there are people in your corner and in your life who are there to support you through those hardest moments, and being able to let go of the stress and the ego of it all and actually turn to them for help, and keep that big picture in mind, that you are not alone. There's a tribe behind you. And if you can't trust in that comment and in that thought, then this is for you. This is for you, because there are people who love you and support you. There are systems here built for you to be able to survive and thrive. It can be as simple as reaching out and being able to receive the help and assistance from the Red Cross, or being able to answer more honestly when a friend or a family member reaches out to you and asks you, "Are you okay? Do you need something?" Be able to say yes, because understanding that the big picture is that there is life through this and after this, and there are people and systems in place to love you and support you and see you through it. That is how you thrive. And finally, I want you um, to focus and commit to keep going. Crises, like losing loved ones, like divorce, like life changes that were not planned or that don't seem to serve us. Those things can really grip us and hold us and keep us in this space of scarcity and in this space of distrust and hurt and pain. And if you know me, you know me well enough. You'll know that I'm not a fan of turning away from discomfort and avoiding things that are that don't feel good, because we have to. And so that means keep going, keep going, keep your eyes focused on that big picture and on the other side of it. But that means committing to owning what your role, what your space, what your feelings are in this, so that you can continue forward, so that you can move in a direction that takes you to health and wellness and to happiness and joy and peace. So don't commit to living in this space of hurt and of pain and of crisis. Commit to keep going, and let that be known, and say that and own that. That is how we move through. And when you commit to keep going, you're able to look back at moments where you survived the last crisis, where you're thriving through things that were sent to hurt you and destroy you. And you can see yourself for the powerful and resilient and magnificent being that you are, that has survived so many other things before. That is what it looks like to keep going. And knowing that you've been through other things and you have survived them and thrived and built a life and a legacy already that speaks to the glory of the power that you have. So keep going and commit to that by saying that out loud, by writing that out, by being clear about where it is you're going, even when you're in the midst of crisis. I want to encourage you to stay in the moment by tapping in so that you can see clearly what it is you need to gain and grow from this. I want to encourage you to see the big picture so that you never lose sight of the tribe that is behind you, of the systems and supports that are there for you. And I want you to commit to keep going so that you can speak to the story on the other side of this crisis. I love you. I'm here for you. And I see you. And I hope that this speaks to you. I'm Dr. Damon, your Chief Wellness Warrior. And if what we're experiencing, what we're talking about today really resonates with you or speaks with you, and maybe we need to talk more about this, maybe you have questions, maybe you need some support and some of the systems that I provide and I share, and that is my passion and my gift, reach out to me. You can find me on social media, all the places where you might be seeing this. And you can also reach out to me on our website, and that is thewillpowerwellness.com. I provide holistic training and support to help you maximize your inner peace and your profit. And I hope that today, that peace, that inner peace, and the profit of life right now can help you get through the crisis that you're going through. Because I know that, I'm going through some myself. We have to honor that. So I wish you all the best. And I'm grateful for you. Be well.